My name is Bobby Rush, and I'm back again to tell you a little something about myself, the blues, and my great nephew who's want to become a blues person, a blues lover. I have knowledge of the blues, and I have to share a little something with him that it may he may grab onto and hold on to it as he go his blues life. First of all, it haven't been always good with me, but it haven't been all bad. Because the blues is something that is from the heart. It don't always make you smile, and it don't always make you cry. When I was coming up on a week, I would work hard in the cotton field, chopping cotton, picking cotton. On a weekend, I would get my harmonica and guitar and go to town and play the blues all the weekend. I would look forward for that. Then we come back on a Monday morning and Sunday night rather. Then I'm sad because Monday morning is work time. But on a Friday afternoon, I'm smiling again because now it's party time. So all I'm saying to you, that if you're a blues singer, if you country western, if you jazz or what have you, partying ain't nothing but partying. Good time ain't nothing but good time. Blues ain't nothing but music, and music ain't nothing but something you enjoy. So let's grab whatever you like in the music and just do it and do it well. But I only can tell you about one thing. That's the blues. This is what I do. This is what I live. This is what I am. That's what I was. That's what I'm gonna be. What you see is what you get. I'm a blues man.
So, you just celebrated your 85th birthday, which is amazing. And we know that you were born in Louisiana and you
Yes.
lived in Louisiana for a while. Then you moved to Little Rock, Arkansas, and you had some bands there, and you had guys like Elmore James play with you and folks like that. And then when you were 15, you made a decision or you were drawn to Chicago. And you moved to Chicago at a time where some blues greats already lived there and other blues greats were to come in the very near future. What can you say about what went into the decision to move to Chicago and what you had heard about Chicago and then what the energy was like when you were in Chicago at that time when blues was so rich in Chicago and in like pop music at that time,
Well, let
R&B.
let me start by. I left Louisiana, 1947. I went to Arkansas, which was Pine Bluff, really, from there to Little Rock, and I stayed in Pine Bluff, Arkansas for a while, and out in a little country town called Sherrills, Arkansas. And then in the early '50s, I moved to Chicago. I moved there because I wanted to play the blues and wanted to be a played in more better places and make more money. And I got this guy in Illinois. I was in the South making $12 a month, $12 a month, $1 a day for what Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 3 days a week. In Chicago, I was making $4.50 a month, $4.50 a night, not a month. And I remember I went to Argo, Illinois to play. Then I got a job in the suburb of Chicago, and I was playing for a white audience, but I was playing behind a curtain. Well, they wanted to hear my music, didn't want to see my face. Uh, I didn't know about the racial thing until these things started to happen because I didn't know why I was playing behind a curtain. I thought I was playing behind it because I played so loud and good. But then again, I found out they didn't want to see my face because it just white audience. But I said that to say this: when I moved to Chicago, I moved for because I thought I was going to make more money, be more popular. But then I was looking at Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, Jimmy Reed, John Lee Hooker, and all the guys that I looked up to was in Chicago. And then I looked around. James Brown was in Georgia. Louis Jordan was in New Orleans. Fats Dono in New Orleans. Because I was torn between, should I stay north or should I come back south? I stayed north for 40 some odd years. Then finally I moved back to Mississippi, which was still torn to me all them years about where I should be, because I was still trying to find myself in the blues and find the location in this world where they accept me most. And at that time, I thought Chicago was the most acceptable to the blues than any place I have been. But then when I found out I moved back to Mississippi, I found out that most of the guys was in Chicago were from Mississippi.
So Olivia, Ryan, and Allison want to ask, where do you keep your Grammy, and can you tell us more about winning the Grammy or the ceremony itself?
I can tell you one of the things you asked. I can tell you how I feel about the Grammy. I feel like I'm in heaven when I won the Grammy. But I can't tell you where I keep it. I can tell you I keep it, because that's kind of private person. I keep it really close to me, where I can put my hand on it on a daily basis, and that's kind of personal. I keep it. I got a place I keep it. So I'm just saying like that. I got a place I can go touch it anytime I want to touch it. So that's kind of personally and privately.
Audrey, Will, and Marcel ask, what is something you learned later in life that you wish you knew sooner?
Oh God, everything. I wish I'd have known that when I went to Chicago and when I went to Memphis, when I went to St. Louis, all these places I went trying to find people and people who do the blues, who love the blues, trying to find this spot. I didn't know the spot was me, that wherever I stopped, I could just do the blues, and the blues were with me. I would go and trying to find the blues and find where the blues people were, and it was in me all the time. If I had went to Tulsa, Oklahoma, the blues would have been there, because the blues was in me. I was the blues.
Did you ever play, this is from Tim, Matthew, and Emily, did you ever play at the Blues on Grand in Des Moines?
Oh yeah, man, God, yeah. The blues, everybody, anybody plays the Blues on Grand in Des Moines. I played there many, many times. In fact, the time I was playing there, the guy who's came and run the Blues Awards in Memphis was also running the Blues on Grand in Des Moines. Then he later on went up to Memphis, Tennessee, where the Handel Awards, and started running the Handel Award, which the Blues Award. You know, Jay. Mm-hmm. You know, and the Jay, but Jay was running the thing and running the club over there. And then Jay got a job with the Blues Award in Memphis, Tennessee. And I was friend to him when I was playing over there. Then I also was friend after he got to the Blues Award. So I know Jay from a long way back, you know. Jay Selman, just a great guy in the blues.
Absolutely. So they have one more question. We just definitely want to give a shout out to the professor, Thomas Buckmiller, and to Drake University, of course, to Marcel and his father, Corey Ellis. And finally, with all that said, from Audrey, Will, and your great-great-nephew, Marcel, do you think Marcel should go into the blues?
Yes. But really, honestly, he's into the blues. If he want to know something about me, being his great-great-uncle, he's in the blues already. He just don't know it. I go into the blues. He was born in the blues. He just don't know it. But he just get a little older. He'll find out. When things get a little rough and tough, he'll find out that the blues wrap that up to hold his hand. It's like biblical term, because I always talk about biblical thing, because I use the Bible for a roadmap to me, because in my life it's a roadmap. It's a place in life where you do or don't. It's a guideline for me, and I use that. So I'm telling my little great nephew that follow the path of the blues, but you also keep the biblical things in line. I'm not talking about being a religious cat, being a religion nut, but just one thing for sure, just keep that for a guideline to keep you right and wrong. Keep your rights over here and your wrong over here, so you know where your wrongs and right is. Because my motto is, Lil Ellis, that I must do all I can while I can. I know that will come a time I cannot do, but I won't regret what I did not do. So I'm hoping what I said will enlighten you somewhere down the line, that you will make your mind, if you don't be in the blues, you be of the blues, and teach people about the blues, because the root of the blues is the root of all music. As I said before, if you don't like the blues, you probably don't like your mama.